So, the end of an epic power struggle in Osun State, a strategically important election result there, with the PDP dislodging an incumbent APC governor. So, beyond the agony of defeat for the APC and the thrill of victory for the PDP, how much does what has happened in Osun State threaten the APC on a presidential level? Has the mood of Nigerians turned away from the ruling party after nearly 8 years at the helm? Well, we'll be considering all that and more with our two analysts who are with me for the rest of the program to offer their perspectives on the news and talking points of the day. Wole Olaoye is a journalist, media consultant, and newspaper columnist, well known for his brilliantly crafted, hugely informative articles which make for excellent reading. And Waziri Adio is a journalist, policy strategist, and a Rise News analyst who's written numerous articles about Nigeria and who is well known for his illuminating dissection of Nigerian politics. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And let me come to you, Waziri Adio, a first word from you on what happened in Osun State. Break down that data for us that's emerged from the ballot.
Okay, thank you very much. Very interesting data when you look at it closely and you try to disaggregate the voting pattern. First, you need to go back to 2018. In 2018, as you know, we have 30 local government areas in Osun State. In 2018, APC won 15 local government areas, PDP won 12, SDP won 2, and ADP won 1. Right. The thing was close because in the places where PDP won, they had huge margin. So even despite that they won 12 local governments, you know, it was almost neck to neck. But coming to 2022, 4 years after, APC, out of the 15 local government areas that he won in 2018, he actually lost 8 of them, right, and gained 6. So at the end of the day, he won 13 local government areas this time around. PDP also, out of the 12 that he won in 2018, he lost 3 and gained 8, right? So, but when you look at it quite closely, you see where, you know, the margin came from. The first thing that happened is that APC gained the 6 that he gained. He picked it off ADP and SDP, right? But he lost 8. And when you look at it very closely, you find out that the places where it lost massively. And the places where it gained just minimally. So when you look at PDP, PDP was able to hold down his own base, right? He won most of the ones that he won in 2018, but he also picked the pocket of APC in his stronghold, right? And interestingly enough, he picked the pocket where it mattered the most. The governor actually lost the election in his own zone. Out of the 8 local government areas that APC lost, 5 of them were from the governor's zone, which is what's it called? Which is the Osun Central, right? And these are huge. You know, these are local governments with huge votes. Like Osogbo, for example, Osogbo had 142,000 registered voters. Olorunda had 104 registered voters. So APC lost in those places, including in Ila, where former governor Bisi Akande and leader of APC, you know, came from. Then, you know, those are places where APC won the other time, and he lost them now. So this is where the governor lost in his own place, and APC held down. The only place where the governor did very well, where he had huge margin, was in Boripe, his own local government. He had a margin of about 13,000. But when you look at the margin that the governor-elect had in one of the 2 Ede local government areas, Ede North or South, that's completely wiped that out. And where APC won like with 10,000 votes in 2018, like Osogbo, like Ejigbo, they not only lost those places, they lost them woefully. So if you take 3 places, actually, if you take Ejigbo, where they won by like 10,000 votes in 2018, if you take Osogbo, where they won with like 10,000 votes, they lost it. If you take Olorunda, where they won with like 6,000 votes, the other time they lost it. So you can see the difference of the 28,000. So the thing now is that people have made a lot about what really happened in Osun State. I will quickly just mention a few factors that I think were at play. The first one was that the Adelekes have a very sophisticated political machine. It's a political family. Many people don't remember their father, Senator Raji, Adeleke, was a senator in the Second Republic. And, they also had Governor Isiaka Adeleke, who, was a major politician, of that era. So that's the first thing. So they had a political dynasty, a political heritage. They are well-resourced, and, they are, especially in Ede, their own area. So they were able to keep that down. The second thing is that there's a sentiment in Osun State that power should shift to Osun West, where Senator Adeleke is from, right? In Osun State, out of 23 years of democracy since 1999, Osun Central, where the present governor comes from, right, has been in government, has ruled the state for 15 years. Osun East, where Aregbesola came from, or comes from, has ruled for 8 years. Osun West has done 0. The last time Osun West had a shot at it was in 1992 to 1993, when the older Adeleke, was governor for just 1.5 years. The other thing that happened was that in Osun State, there's something that you can call the cost of incumbency. Osun governors have problems getting a second term. Akonde didn't get a second term. Oyinlola didn't get a second term. It was only Aregbesola that managed to get it.
And usually that is supposed to be an advantage, but you're saying it doesn't seem to work there.
No. In Osun State, and also even in Oyo State, right. You have that incumbency. People are just impatient.
Right.
They want to change, and all of that. So these are some. The last point, which Senator Adamu Alero mentioned and others have also mentioned, is that APC lost the battle to itself. This is without disrespect to the Adelekes and the effort that they put in and others and all of that. But APC was factionalized. There's a group in APC called the Osun Progressive Top. That is the group of Aregbesola, and though Aregbesola didn't participate and all of that, but you see a place like Ejigbo, where former Speaker of the House of Assembly in Osun State, APC won that place in 2018 with 10,000 votes. They lost it this time around. A place like Wole and other places where,
So factional fighting played a key role.
APC.
And I want to thank you for that excellent analysis, because it really helps people to understand the things behind the headlines that are taking place there. And I appreciate your patience, Wole Olaoye, but we needed to have this analysis. We had discussed it, and I thought it was very important. But given what Waziri Adio said, practically speaking, where does this result in Osun State now take us going forward?
There are implications to the results. Now, when you look at the angle of the youths were at the fore of the campaigns, mostly of the Adelekes. I noticed then in the media space, in the online media space, they just took over the online media space. I have a theory about the coming 2023 elections, and Osun is a good precursor. It's not going to be business as usual. The power of the youths in deciding who is going to rule over them is going to come to the fore in the next presidential elections. People should watch the demographics very carefully. You have these guys from the ages of 18 to 44 outnumber us, those of us, anybody above 60, 70, 80. The 18 to 44 years guys outnumber us 3 to 1. If half of them collect their PVCs and show up on election day, they will determine who will be the next president of Nigeria. And in that light, you've got to look at the contribution of somebody like Davido. It's easy to dismiss, oh, he's just a musician and whatever, but look at the followership he commands. Look at the way he was able to energize the whole. And going forward, PDP and APC have a problem in their hands in 2023 with what we are seeing now. The young people are rising up to the occasion, and about time too. And my own appeal to them is to just do it responsibly. It's a generational responsibility. We are not going to do it for them. In our own days, we did ours. We lived up, or we did try to live up to the responsibilities confronting our generation. It's their turn now. Let them decide which direction they want our country to go.
Okay, I mean, you, Waziri Adio, you were obviously going through the data and all of that. I wonder if you came across the youth data, if that has emerged yet, and whether you want to pick up on what Wole Olaoye was saying, on the basis of what he was saying. Are you broadly in agreement with that?
To some extent, I think, like most people have said, there's something going on about the consciousness of the youth. And that is something that is positive, because for so long people were saying that, you know, this younger generation, they are too docile, they are more interested in just enjoyment, you know, watching entertainment, you know, and Big Brother Naija, you know, and stuff like that. But now they are politically conscious, they are demanding for their rights, and they, you know, a seat at the table. So that is positive. The only thing that I think we should pay attention to is that sometimes people assume that because the youths are coming out, right, and we tend to homogenize all of them.
Yes.
To assume that
they're all going to vote for one.
All of them will vote for one person.
Yes.
I think things are more complex than that. The other thing is that I don't want us to make too much of as attractive or as you know, as interesting as it might be. I don't want us to make too much of what happened in Osun State, to project from there. Osun matter is a deeply local issue. There are many local
so we shouldn't necessarily extrapolate from that.
We had, you know, many actors, many local issues, many local variables at play. So you cannot project from that. Osun is not Nigeria.
Right.
Let me give you an example. The ticket run by PDP is Christian, right? And I don't think anybody made an issue out of that, right? And Osun is, you know, even if it's not predominantly Muslim, I think it should be like, you know, almost 50-50. That's if it's not predominantly Muslim. And nobody made an issue of that. Not just that. In 2003 to 2007, when Olaoye was the governor, his running mate, his deputy, Erelu Obada, was also a Christian. And nobody made any issue out of that. So I don't think we should make too much of what is going on in Osun State. Osun is peculiar. There are peculiar issues. We should just watch it and see how, you know, there are very positive things, like, you know, the election was peaceful, the performance of INEC and the security forces, the use of technology and all of that. We can project from those ones. But in terms of taking, yes, it's good. You know, the balance has shifted. It's not just in Southwest that you have 4 states to APC and 2 to PDP, but also nationally. APC now has 21 states from 22, and PDP now has 14, and Abga State has 1. So, you know, but even that, you know, these are the 2 major parties, and the balance has not, you know, dramatically shifted.
We're almost out of time. Let me come to you, Wole Olaoye. Based on what Waziri was saying, do you believe that after what happened in Osun, that the APC can still win the presidential election?
There are a lot of variables involved. As I told you, my own analysis is that 2023 is going to be different. A lot of the variables, there will be more variables at play than we have ever had in any election in Nigeria. And people are going to look at competence. And some of the areas, the social media is going to play a lot of, is going to carry a lot of weight than it had ever done before. A lot of people say people on social media don't vote. You can win on the internet unless you show up on, but let them watch it. Any party that does not play the game on the social media as it should is going to be in for a very,
yes,
very
I noticed you looked at that very quite a lot in one of your articles, I think, for the Leadership newspaper.
Yes, yes. Any party that does not master that terrain is in for a shock. And all the local variables we've always had, oh, PDP, this is the stronghold, and even the North that people thought was homogeneous, it's very clear now that we are in for surprises. We are in for interesting times. And thank God the youths will be at the vanguard of it.
Okay, well, I wish we had more time, but I really appreciate having the both of you on. Waziri Adio, of course, who's an Arise News analyst, and Wole Olaoye, who's a media consultant and newspaper columnist. Thank you very much indeed to both of you. That's it for this edition of Arise Primetime. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and Lagos, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.